Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Bex here today to do the Could Do Better book tag, also known as the Butterface book tag. This is a tag that I saw a Sunny Book Nook do recently. It was originally created by CJ Reads, and it's 6 questions talking about book covers, judging book covers, just sharing some thoughts on them. I haven't done a video about book covers in a long time. There's a few that I have done, Les and I have done on this channel years back, but I liked the questions. They're well phrased, so I really felt the urge to do this one. With a tag about book covers, you could spend hours scouring the internet for the perfect book cover to answer the question. So I set myself some parameters, which were that it had to be a book I had read in the edition that I read it. So it gave me a chance to go through 10 years of Goodreads data and find a book that I had read that best fit the question. Question number 1 is say it, don't spray it. Cover with the most offensive use of type, and for this I had to go with The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. There are obviously many editions of this book now because it is so popular, but this is the edition that I read, and the use of that font for The Book Thief, just no. I don't like it at all. I also don't like the font that Marcus Zusak's actual name is in, and the fact that it's in that sort of reddish orange color. I just don't like the way it flows with the rest of the cover either. Like, I think it's probably supposed to stick out, but I think it sticks out in a bad way. I'm sure someone out there made an argument for why they picked this font when they designed this cover, but I am not a fan. I don't like the way it looks. I don't think it complements the book cover or the story well, but I'm sure you could spin it to say how it looks like ink. Maybe that's the spin they put on it, but just there are so many other font choices that could have worked for this. Question number 2 is she's serving Reese's Book Club. Cover with the most commercial book club energy. And I had a few contenders for this, but I decided to go with Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter. This just screams commercial book energy to me. We have got bright colors. We've got a swoopy, pretty font. We've got a picture of, I believe, the Cinque Terre in Italy, which is a very Instagrammable, beautiful location. And just combining these things really, it does draw your eye because it's a pretty cover, but it's exactly the kind of book cover that you would see in a commercial book club. It just has all those elements. I don't hate it, but it certainly fits a certain expectation that you would have. Question 3 is Yes Girl, Give Us Nothing, a cover with seemingly no energy put into it. And for this one, I actually have the physical copy of the book still, and that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have this super cheap version that I got at a library book sale, so I certainly wasn't trying to find a nice edition of the book. This just sort of fell into my lap. The most redeeming part of this cover is probably that Daphne du Maurier's name has this slight like gold lining around it, which may or may not pick up on the camera, but otherwise this looks like something that a high school student would put together in some sort of computer design class, because the quality of the photo down here is so fuzzy. I get the scene that it's supposed to be depicting from the book, but it looks like a really low-res photo that somebody kind of took off of the internet and tried to create and sort of meld it into this black background. The stormy scene up here that's got this pinky purpley hue to it. Not really sure why that needed to be there, but yeah, this entire thing is just weak. There's no energy, nothing. Question 4 is A Face Only a Mother Could Love, a cover that is so hideous, but the book is so good you can't help but keep it around. For this one, I went with The Island by Victoria Hislop. This cover, to be fair, is not the most hideous thing I've ever seen, but it is a book that is so good that I still have it on my shelves. It's not in Canada with me, it's at my parents' house in the States, so I don't have easy access to it at the moment. But the book was a book that Les and I read together in high school, and we loved it. We had such a good time reading this book, and so I have those nostalgic, happy memories of it. But looking back at it, I must say that this cover is not the best. The woman's face being so large is a little off-putting. The island picture underneath is cool, but I think there are other ways you could have taken this, and I do know that the covers have been re-released with other Victoria Hislop books, so they all kind of match and go together. So I know that they have taken it in a different direction since this edition, but I can understand why. It's not the best. I just think that woman's face is so overpowering and it's not like necessary to have it on the cover to get the vibe of the book. I'm keeping it for the good memories, not because the cover is particularly nice. Question 5 is take one thing off before leaving the house, a cover that could use one less element. For this one, I had to pick this cover of Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances Mays. This is the edition that I read way back at the beginning of this channel. I have a book to movie comparison. You see me hold up this edition of the book. I don't know if I even own it anymore. I might have gotten rid of it, but there was just a lot going on in this cover, and it's not particularly pretty either. The tones, I get why they were kind of going for this brown yellow tone. Then we have multiple photos in different areas. You know, we've kind of got this splitting going on to add some structure to the chaos, but there's so many different photos. And then what really adds to it is just the different font, the fact that it is different sizes, the fact that sun has alternating colors for the different letters. Like, at least keep the font all the same color, especially when you have so many other things going on. And the cherry on top for me is this just side box that comes in with this sort of subtitle of At Home in Italy, just that sort of just dashed in there, you know, just completely separate from everything else that's happening. I think if we started with taking the word sun and putting it as the same color as Under the Tuscan, that would be a good start. Definitely not enough, but we could already improve the cover by doing that, and then maybe doing something with the At Home in Italy box. Then I think we're moving in the right direction. Not perfect, but better, because there is just way too much happening in this one. The final question is Hype Beast, a cover that is clearly going for all the trends at the same time. For this one, I chose Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb. I think the use of a bold color, a bold background color, in this case a light blue, but you see it in many other books, that's definitely a thing right now, to have some sort of solid, really bright color to sort of catch the eye. And then we've got some bold font that's a little different. So in this one, the Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, it's almost looks like it's scratched at a bit. Like it's not quite a font that looks like a handwritten font, but it kind of looks like somebody colored it in with a pen. And that's a trend, I'd say, sort of handwritten, but not so handwritten that it's impossible to read. And then the final element being, in this case, the tissue box, just being there on that bright color with that font. I think those three things together really combine to make a cover that is hitting all of the trends. I don't hate this cover. I think it really gets across the idea of this book, but it is definitely a trendy cover compared to all the other ones that are out there right now. Those are the 6 questions for the Could Do Better, aka Butterface book tag. If you're interested in doing this, I tag you. Of course, I would always love to see Les's answers. She's my one official tag every time I do a tag. But if you have seen this video around and you're interested in doing it, then I encourage you to do so. You can let me know down below if you do, and I'll go check out your answers. It is fun to see what people pick because everybody has different choices in terms of what they like and don't like. So for example, in a Sunny Book Nooks video, she talked about Miracle Creek, and I was like, I actually really like that cover. I like that aesthetic. So it varies, and that's what's fun. As always, all of our links are in the down bar. You can go check those out if you feel so inclined. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.